Hello, here I am again. A lot of you may be wondering why I choose Christmas Day as a day of all days to expose crime. Well, look, as Lord Afenham have said on their website post today, they've quoted a scripture of the Bible, Ecclesiastes, where there's a time to laugh, there's a time to cry. Well, on Christmas Day, for me, it is a time of happiness and a time of great sadness. My father, my beloved father, was murdered today on Christmas Day. Not this day, but in 1978, Christmas Day 1978. And yeah, it's so, it's for me, Christmas Day is a time of laughing and crying. So you may have wondered why in my previous post I've actually uploaded a video about my little girl, my little hard adopted girl being murdered by my landlord and my landlord's brother and my ex-employer Bob Powell. She was both raped, as I said in my previous video. She was being used as a she was being used for child slave labor and child slave labor and child prostitution. So they were raping her and they were having their fun with her as well. And yes, that is the landlord of the home that I'm currently renting at the moment. So as much as I would like to go to his house right the fuck now and accuse him of these crimes which I know have happened, and I know them partly because I was they also tried to do the same to me that they did to my little hard adopted girl. I just wish I knew her real name. I've got to give her a name. In my affidavit I've given a lot of names for the girls, hard adopted girls that I've come in contact with over the years, and so I've got to give her a legitimate name, and it'll be Shalise something, because I was calling them all Shalise because I thought they were all my real daughter. But sometimes I was aware, sometimes I wasn't. It's just because I had such a major memory loss problem. So, yeah, so I'd love to go over there right now and have it out with him, but I have to do this. I have to not play it, but I have to sort of work it in with my life, because there's no point accusing him. And yes, I did call the police when it happened, but because of my memory loss, as I said in my last video, I couldn't remember the next day, and because they drugged me at the time that it happened. But this little girl was being used for child slave labor and prostitution, child prostitution. Well, not prostitution, I think that's probably not the right word. They were using her as a sex slave. That's a better word. As a sex slave and for child slave labor. Now, two of these guys, my landlord and his brother, are from India, and Bob Powell is a European guy. Now, Bob's got a story to tell, and I'll tell his story soon. Yes, I've been talking to Bob a few times after he died. That's just what I do. And I'm gonna reveal some things that he has told me. Well, one thing that he has told me that I've got through my spirit sight, what I call spirit sight, or psychic viewing, or telepathic communication, whatever you like to call it. But I've definitely communicated with him, so I'll post up information about that. I want to go and hit my landlord up. Basically, if he sees these videos, he's going to kick me out of this house, which means I'm going to be homeless, because he's not going to give me a good report. He's not going to give me a good report, so he's going to make it difficult for me to get into another house. So yeah, so what I've decided to do, as much as I hope this doesn't hurt my little girl too much, and baby, I hope you're listening to Mum, and I'm talking to you, the one who got murdered by Bob and my landlord's brother, but I think it was my landlord's brother that actually did the final blow. and his name's Michael, and my current landlord's name is Richard. That's an English name he's given. He's got a real, they both have real Indian names. So, as much as I'd like to go over there, what's the point of doing that if the mental health people are just going to call me, say I'm having an episode and calling me crazy and delusional, then they're going to drug me more and turn me into a vegetable, which is what they've done to a couple of my friends, people that I've met inside the mental health institutions. They've made them lose their ability to rationalize, reason and think because they're over-drugging them. And I'm also going to, so I'm going to use this year to really kickstart my business, Nell's Deliveries. I'm going to, and by the end of the year, if you guys are all supporting me with my business and I'm making lots of money, basically by the end of the year, I'll have enough money to start filing some charges. Okay, so that's the plan. I hope you're okay with it, baby girl. I'm so sorry that I'm delaying getting this into court, but I don't have a lot of choice right now, baby. If I go and hit Richard, my landlord, up now, he's going to kick me out. Then I'll have no internet to upload videos. I'll be able to sleep in my van. I won't have extra money to advertise the business. So basically everything I'm doing right now is to take certain people to court. That's my motivation, including my own family. Now, the thing is, and I want all of my family and the people who have raped and abused my little girls and murdered them and things like, and you know, who have done things like that. I want you all to know that, look, there was a time when I hated you, and I hated you so much I could have killed you all with my bare fucking hands. And sometimes I still feel that way. But most days, because I understand how criminals are created, because I understand that criminals are created mostly through injustices happening to them, because I understand that, I don't hate you all. And there will be a time when maybe we can be even, you know, be friends, but only on the understanding that you spend the rest of your lives making it up to not only the children and people that you've hurt, but also to other children and people who need your help. So that's the only understanding whereby I might consider talking to you again. And I want to explain one other thing. Even though I'm taking you guys all to court, it's not so much to punish you as it is to make you and hold you accountable for the crimes that you've committed. Now, when I finish writing my book, I know it's going to be a bestseller, and that's something I see in the future. It's going to be a bestseller because of the understanding that I'll be bringing about in my book. Now, maybe it's going to be a bestseller after I die. Maybe it's going to be a bestseller before I die. Whichever the case may be, it's going to help a lot of people, particularly criminals. Now, we've all had bad things happen to us, and we've all had, well, and you know, if you're lucky enough, you've also had many, many, many good things happen to you. The difference between committing a crime and doing the right thing is just a thought. It's just a thought, which is why people are hypnotizing people. Excuse me, I've just got a sneeze. Thank you. People are hypnotizing people to do things that they don't want to do. And that's also a very, very real thing that criminals are doing. It's happened to me. It's happened throughout my life. And I'll explain that. It's going to be a little bit of a stretch of the mind to believe, but it is true nevertheless. And also I want to just say, that, like, when it comes to phenomena, things like speaking to people who have died, been murdered, telepathic communication, psychic ability, spirit sight, seeing things, remote viewing, seeing things happening that are far away from you. When it comes to those sorts of that sort of phenomena. I understand people not believing it until they experience it for themselves. Well, that's something that I want to help you all do as well. But at the same time, you've got to be careful that what you see is real and not your mind conjuring up a vision just because that's what you're thinking about. There's a very, very big difference between seeing real things and seeing things that you just think you see. So you've got to be very, very careful. And one of the ways to be very, very careful about that is to become an honest person. And that's why I'm kickstarting the Global Māori Revolution, because I'm trying to make people understand that if you want to be all that you can be, you've got to be an honest person. Yes, I believe in lying to pedophiles. I believe that's necessary to save children's lives sometimes. Like, for example, if they say, did you call the police? Well, obviously you're not going to say yes. So there is a time to lie and there is a time to tell the truth. The time to tell the truth is in court, when the judicial system can actually do something about the crimes that have happened to you. So that's the time to tell the truth. But a lot of people don't tell the truth. A lot of doctors